Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Moonlit Heart Society podcast. My name is Megan.
And I'm Arian.
Hopefully, you can't hear that, but there's shit all over my microphone. Um, okay, we hope you're having a great week. Did you know that the second Friday in January is known as Quitters Day? So, how are your New Year's resolutions going?
I've been too sick to even start mine.
That's fair. There's so much of that going around.
What about yours?
Yeah, not great. I think I have a lot of like just competing priorities right now with, baby and everything in my life. So I feel like I haven't been able to be consistent with anything because they have a sixth sense. So as soon as you decide like, hey, I'm going to start doing something new is exactly when they decide they're no longer going to sleep. So that's been fun. So have
Oh, you
not
thought you were gonna do something? Well, guess again.
exactly. Exactly. So we'll see. I wouldn't say I've quit anything, but I'm definitely not consistent. So there's that. I just thought that was so fascinating. I was like, hey, I wonder how many people actually like continue their New Year's resolutions or whatever. And that was the first thing I saw was apparently there's an actual date and it's the second Friday in January. And that's the date that people have dubbed Quitters Day. So there you go. There's your fun fact. All right. Follow us on social media, Moonlit Heart Society across all platforms. And you can find Arian at the Faux Jellyfish and me at Meggie Cat. If you're not already following us, you should definitely do that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well for video episodes of this podcast, and audio listeners can find us on Spotify. Or if you're really awesome, you can join our Patreon and get all of our episodes but ad free, plus exclusive moonlighting content and deep dive episodes that you can't get on any other platform. Reading calendars, book voting, access to our newsletter, and more. Head over to patreon.com and become a member today. What are we deep diving, Arian?
Deep diving, LJ Andrews. Oh God, what's the first one called? They're just the Broken Kingdom to me or whatever. Crown of something,
Curse
probably.
of Curse of Shadows and
Something on the
Thorns
crown.
is the first one. And then
That's what.
Court of Ice and Ash is
Okay.
the second one. And we're like right in between
Ah.
the two of those. So join us. Join us over there for the deep dive. We're making our way through that series. So super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we have our bonus moonlighting content over on Patreon. You can't get anywhere else. This is 15 to 30 extra minutes of content that you can engage with us and others in the book club. And we post every Wednesday directly following the full episode. So check that out. This week, we're talking about our most anticipated 2026 reads and some exciting bookish news that has to do with books coming out in the new year. So you won't want to miss it. All right, let's head right into it. So last time we covered chapters 1 through 19 of Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moronova. This week we're covering the last half, 20 through 43. We left Nell and the Malum squad preparing for their top secret mission. After several attempts to get her to quit the squad, Bradshaw has just accepted an ultimatum from Nell to find someone better than her and she would leave. Nell has just made a fool of Malum as she's thoroughly smoking them in a recon training session, winning her bet. At the end, we predicted that Jenkins is still alive and he might be running the show behind the scenes. They'll discover that it was actually Bones who was supposed to die in Patagonia, not Abram. And I predicted that Nell would end up with both the brothers in like an MMF situation. And Arian predicts that Nell will just end up with Bradshaw. So that's where we're leaving off. So jumping in with chapter 20, we get a brief glimpse of Jenkins and Nell on a mission 3 years ago. Jenkins tells Nell to trust no one but him. When she asks him if he trusts her, he says he's not sure that he ever will. And she's just okay with that. Right into it, and I'm just laughing already. I'm like, she's just fine with that. Like, oh, he doesn't trust me. That's okay. But
That's totally
it's
fine.
totally fine. This does also definitely support the theory, though, that he's just using her and doesn't actually love her. So,
Okay. Chapter 21. Bradshaw reels from the hit he took from Nell's rifle. He thinks of Abram and how much Nell reminds him of him. The squad call the medics and leave Nell alone with him, where he reluctantly confirms her wins. She will be his second, and he's afraid to lose her.
yeah.
This is all happening so quickly.
Yeah, right. So I made a note here that apparently Bradshaw makes a comment that like Jenkins talked about her a lot to him, and I was like, that's weird. They all communicated. I thought they were all separate. So, anyways, chapter 22. Nell notices Erin staring at her while she tends to Bradshaw, and she feels like something's wrong. Bradshaw is taken to the med bay, and while she waits for the news, Job stops by to tell her that they're lucky to have her on the squad. She finally feels accepted. Erin emerges from the med bay and in the privacy of their room tells Nell that she brings out a vulnerability in Bradshaw that they can't afford. He tells her to quit messing around and focus on her duty. Suddenly pulling like a 180. This was a weird... Did we suspect Erin last time?
Kind of. I didn't suspect him, but I thought that he seemed more of like a light-hearted, doesn't get too attached to people because of like the danger it brings or something.
Right.
I feel like that was like something that I was questioning.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like this was a sudden like, whoa, he's like she notices it from kind of the beginning of the chapter when he's starting to like look at her really weird. But then suddenly he's like, quit fucking around and that he needs
I took that as like him like looking at her weird as in like he thought Bradshaw was just having fun with her. But if he's the kind of person who doesn't want like commitments or attachments, like he doesn't want that for his brother either or something.
Yeah, and it gave me the vibe that for the first time that like Erin was using Bradshaw as this like, murder weapon just as much as everybody else. And I was like, that feels weird. I thought that they were more like, I mean, they're brothers. I thought they were more than that, I guess, but okay.
Chapter 23. Aaron briefs the squad on the mission, telling them that this is the most top secret operation and the objective is to rescue Hades, another Dark Forces squad, take out the Ghost Squad that has been targeting them. Nell feels like Aaron is hiding something and Bradshaw has been absent all week. After dismissing the rest of the squad, Aaron keeps Nell and Bradshaw back and informs Nell she'll be acting as Bones' double on the mission, not his sniper. Aaron reveals that he believes that they have a rat on the squad because someone is trying to target Bradshaw with injected poison at the recon training and with the black right bullet that killed Abram. Bradshaw asks Nell if it was her bullet, then leaves before she can answer.
So my prediction was correct. The bullet was meant for Bradshaw, not Abram, and that someone is trying to kill him specifically. So I think my suspicion here, I made a note, was that someone was trying to kill Bones and pin it on Nell, or at least pin it on Riot. Otherwise, they would have just killed him over the last 2 years in Patagonia. So my suspicion was like, if there was a rat in their squad, why would they wait 2 years for Nell to show up before they just killed Bones? So that was so. All right, chapter 24. Bradshaw questions Aaron on the decision to make Nell his double, unsure if he trusts her, but at the same time afraid that she will end up just like Abram. Aaron assures him this is how he keeps them all safe, but he orders Bradshaw to kill Nell if things go awry. They leave for the mission the next morning. Yeah, Aaron's giving sus.
Chapter 25. The squad parachutes into the location and gets separated on the way down due to heavy rain. Nell, Bradshaw, and Ian land together and search for the others. Nell is on edge, sure something is wrong. When Job radios for their location, she doesn't recognize his voice and stops Ian from replying. Bradshaw thinks she's interfering with the mission and doesn't trust her. When the rest of the squad arrives, all hell breaks loose, and Nell sneaks into the ambush to kill anyone that isn't her squad.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, I think that Ian's the rat. And also, still suspicious of Aaron. I think he might be feeding Ian information or something. Chapter 26. Bradshaw finds Jobs wounded. He keeps searching for his squad and spots Nell, who saves him from an enemy soldier with a knife to the back. Bradshaw tells her to leave him alive for questioning and returns to Jobs to call an evac. When the others arrive, Bradshaw returns to Nell to find the other enemy soldier is dead, and Ian is dead beside him. Nell claims he was the rat, and Bradshaw isn't sure what to believe, but they're thrown back in an explosion.
Chapter 27. Nell comes to after the explosion, and Bradshaw has bound her wrists. As the airstrike continues, Bradshaw and Nell make their way to the evac point. They find a radio, and Bradshaw informs Aaron that Nell killed Ian. Aaron orders Bradshaw to kill Nell, and he tries, but he can't do it. They hurry to the evac point, but the forest is burning around them, and they both are injured. Bradshaw tells Nell to leave him behind.
Oh.
but she'd rather stay and die with him than go back alone.
Leave him behind. What's that meme from Family Guy? He said the thing. He said the thing. Um,
Yeah.
it's maybe important to note though, she doesn't necessarily want to stay with him and rather than go back alone because she loves him. It's more she's afraid if she goes back alone that Aaron's just gonna kill her. So
Yeah.
all right, chapter 28. Nell and Bradshaw miss the evac and they hike into the forest to find shelter. They patch each other up and try to sleep, but Nell can't get the memory out of her head of 2 years ago, Jenkins ordering her to take the shot at Bones, and Abrams stepping in front of the bullet. So Jenkins was the one that ordered the hit, at least right now, and Nell's been holding on to this secret maybe the whole time, or maybe she didn't realize it until, I don't know, recently. But I noted that Jenkins told Nell that the target was a known traitor. So Jenkins is kind of, well, clearly lying to Nell, but that Bones was the traitor, which is why he took the shot.
Yeah. Chapter 29. Bradshaw recalls Aaron's command, "Kill her, I knew he'd set us up. He fucked me over." But he doesn't know who he's talking about. The guilt weighs on him, so he decides to confess their secret. 2 years ago, Aaron got into a fight with his dealing partner and pulled their shipments to Patagonia. Bradshaw believes this is the reason for the attack that killed the riot squad. There weren't supposed to be any survivors, but Aaron learned a few months ago that Null survived and had her recruited to Malum as insurance to protect Bones. Null is angry and hurt. She finally confesses that it was her bullet that killed Abram.
Dun, dun. So at this point I'm trying to put all the pieces together, right? And I'm all I can think about is insurance is only insurance if what you're using is valuable to the person that you're trying to to keep, insured, right? I don't know if that makes sense. But basically insurance only works if the thing is valuable. So I'm thinking who thinks that Nell is valuable enough that she would act as insurance to keep Bradshaw safe. And the only person that cares about Nell is Jenkins. And so I'm still going on the track, like we said, that we think Jenkins is still alive and he's probably running the show, because I'm like, who else would care enough about Nell to not risk shooting somebody that looks like Bones in case it was her? So anyways, I think Jenkins is a partner. He's still alive. And that Aaron is using Nell as insurance because he knows that Jenkins won't try to shoot Bones again if he risks hitting Nell instead. And plus the fact that he was targeting Bones that day because he knows that he's Aaron's brother and his goal was to punish Aaron.
Chapter 30. Nell is angry that Bradshaw won't kill her and confesses she's tired of being a weapon. Bradshaw agrees he feels the same. They find the bunker and head inside. They bathe, eat, and lay down to rest, sharing their dreams of the lives they wish they had before falling asleep.
So cute.
So cute. Such a tender moment.
Chapter 31. Nell is convinced Aaron will kill her when they get back, and Bradshaw vows to protect her. Things are getting steamy, and once they've thoroughly fogged the mirrors, Nell thinks for the first time that she loves Bradshaw. And I was real into it until the cutting again. Turns out, doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Feel that.
Right.
Yep.
All right, chapter 32. The two prepare to leave the bunker when it's attacked by Hades' soldiers. They escape through a secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. That's immediately what I thought.
Right? I want you to know that after I wrote this, I literally had that in my head the next 20 minutes. Secret tunnel.
Tunnel.
Oh my God. They escape through a secret tunnel. But once out, Bradshaw succumbs to an episode and Nell has to hide him and draw the soldiers away. She leads them to the riverbank and butchers them all. She's almost caught, and the last soldier radios back it's her before Bradshaw shoots him in the face. So we learn here, and what sets Bradshaw off is that Hades is working for this ghost squad, apparently. So the plot thickens.
Chapter 33. Bradshaw carries Nell onward, and they eventually make it to the last bunker. But as they approach, the whole thing explodes. Of course. They fight the oncoming soldiers, but Nell realizes too late that it's a trap, and they're ambushed from behind. It's a trap!
It's a trap! Chapter 34. The soldiers capture Nell and Bradshaw. Both are injured badly in the process. They carry them to a compound and separate them. Nell is taken to a cell where she cleans up and is brought to the captain. The captain. When the doors open, she finds Aaron bloody on the floor and the captain, a man in a black mask, seated at a desk behind him. She tries to attack the captain, but with her injuries, he subdues her quickly. His guards bring in Bradshaw. The captain.
Chapter 35.
I'm the captain now.
The captain, Jenkins.
Jenkins.
I'm the captain now. Jenkins, probably. Chapter 35. Bradshaw feels like he's responsible for everything leading up to this point, and the captain notices Nell's care for him. He tries to make a move on her, saying if she cooperates, he won't shoot Bradshaw. But before he starts, the doors open, and in walks Jenkins. Oh, there's Jenkins.
Jenkins.
He's alive!
He's alive! Wow, what a shocker. They definitely were setting up though that the captain was Jenkins. I think at this point they're like, we know it's Jenkins. Maybe let's give him the whole switcheroo. But apparently the captain is just some guy. Just some guy named Greg. Gets stabbed in the head.
Greg.
For trying to touch her.
My name's Greg.
My name's Greg. What the fuck, Greg? All right. Chapter 36. Jenkins is the leader of the Ghost Squad. He kills the captain for touching Nell, poor Greg, and reveals that he set up the riot squad to be killed and that she was supposed to die with them, but he let her live. Aaron was his partner and tried to kill Jenkins and take his power, so he had Nell ordered to kill his brother, Bradshaw, as revenge. Killing the riot squad was a distraction so he wouldn't get caught. Nell was supposed to get her cards and then get out after that, but Aaron made sure she was brought to Malum's squad to use as a shield for Bradshaw as insurance so Jenkins wouldn't try to kill him again. Nell tells Jenkins if he lets Aaron and Bradshaw leave, she will stay with him, and tells Bradshaw to leave her behind.
She said that thing.
She said that thing.
Chapter 37. 3 years have passed. What a jump.
Yeah, for real. I was like, hold on a second.
Jesus. Jenkins keeps Nell in a gilded prison. She wants for nothing but isn't allowed to leave. She admits she would love Jenkins if not for Bradshaw. Jenkins tells her he knows she doesn't love him, but he doesn't care. He loves her enough for the both of them. 3 years of that sounds amazing.
Yeah, right? No, this whole time it's been bugging me and I still can't. I feel like this reminds me of something, like Jenkins' character just reminds me of something, but I can't place it. But gross either way. All right. Most of chapter 38 was just a sex scene, so I'm covering just the plot. We combined 38 and 39 together. Was pretty steamy. But chapters 38 and 39, 6 months later, so now we've skipped ahead 3.5 years. Jenkins is in London one night when Bradshaw sneaks into Nell's room. He tells her he's been planning for this day since the day she left, and he knows that she lied to get him to take Aaron and leave. He tells her he's been watching her all these years, and Nell finally tells him that she loves him. They dress in tactical gear and prepare to leave. Nothing conspicuous happened at all. What? What's that face, Arian? What do you have to say?
It's just stupid. 3.5 years later, it took me this fucking long. I thought they were supposed to be amazing.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't know. It just seems like 3 years, is that to show oh my god, after these 3 years she still loves him. It is real love. It's not insta love. This is real. It's real love, Mom. I love him.
It's not a phase.
Sorry. Chapter 40. Not a phase. Okay. They begin their escape and run into Nell's guards, Drake and Paul. Drake and Josh. That's what I immediately thought. They tell Nell that Jenkins is already on his way back and they won't get far. Outside the house, they regroup with the whole Mound squad as Jenkins' chopper flies overhead. They move out and make it a great distance before they hear the soldiers searching for them. Harrison gets hit, and the squad has to leave him as they head up for the evac point. They continue on, but come upon a minefield where Aaron trips an IED, and the others have to say goodbye and leave him there. They get far enough away before the explosion sounds, and Nell has to keep Bradshaw from going back for his body.
Classic, we didn't see him die.
Yeah.
I was like, how are they going to... Because Yeah, I was like, okay, that's a pretty big deal. Like, they're gonna blow him up. So I was like, okay, maybe, I guess, like, he's actually dead. But yeah, I definitely was like, we didn't see him die.
Yeah. Apparently Jenkins
Uh,
died in an explosion too, right?
yeah, right? Stupid. Chapter 41. The remainder of Malum's squad makes it one click away when the final ambush finds them. They're fighting with guns and knives, and Jenkins arrives. He faces off with Bradshaw. He takes several injuries, and another soldier is fighting hand to hand with Nell. When she takes a shot to the stomach, Pete runs after her, and Jenkins shoots him. Bradshaw notices then that Jefferson has fallen too. It's just the two of them, and when Jenkins orders his men to kill her, Bradshaw takes him off guard and finally disables him, like super fast. Nell gets the upper hand and takes out the last ghost soldier. I thought, I thought it was maybe it was just me and like I was reading it really fast, but I was like, there was so much buildup, and then the final scene was just what he like headbutts him off of him and then shoots him 18 times in the chest or something. I was like,
I got
oh,
like,
okay.
if you're this amazing, couldn't you have done that like forever ago?
Yep.
Nell wants to be the one to finish him and says goodbye to Jenkins before dealing the killing blow. And
Gosh,
alive Aaron. Oh my god! He's got 9 lives.
right?
They make it to
But
the
only
evac
one
point
leg.
and get to the evac and are lifted to a hospital where they recover from their wounds.
Aaron! I imagine the da 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 as he's running over the hill. Josh has
Da,
got him over his.
da, da, da,
All right.
da.
Chapter 43, the final chapter. It's 5 years later, and we find Nell, Bradshaw, Aaron, and their son living in a cottage in Sweden. They all survived, got out of the dark forces, and were able to build the peaceful life they always dreamed of. A happy ending. So, the thing I can't get, and I talk about this in my rating, the thing that gets me is it's always hard for me to take it seriously that when somebody, and this is in movies and shows too, right? When somebody is that injured all the time, like that frequently, but they make full recoveries and they're totally fine. Like clearly Aaron is missing his legs. I think they note that, like gets his legs blown off. But yeah, like there's that they make full recoveries from these like incredible wounds all the time. I'm like, it's only been like 3 years since. It's a long time, right, for the story, but like for the injuries that she sustains, it's only been 3 years, and you're like perfectly fine. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, that's what like pulls you out of it because they make them get these injuries to make them show that they're like mortal and like they're it's dire. But then they are so fine after
Yeah.
all this happened that I'm like, okay, now you
You
just
got shot in the stomach, and then 2 years later, so they mentioned that their son is like 2 years old. You got shot in the stomach and you had a baby 2 years later. I don't know how necessarily if those things like if how much that impacts that, but I'm like all of your vital bits are in there. Like and you're just fine to like grow a whole baby. I don't know. A
yeah.
lot is left out, but damn. Anyways, predictions, theories, and predictions before we move on. How many of our predictions came true?
Um, Dale discovered that it was Bones that was supposed to die at Patagonia, not Abram.
Hold it.
Yeah. And then you predicted that Nell would end up with both of the brothers. And I predicted that they'd just end up with Bradshaw.
So I said kinda because she ends up with both of them, but not in like an MMF situation, at least not that we know of. So, but they
Yeah.
all are living like one happy little family together. So kinda, I guess,
In a way, we don't know.
in a way. All right. So ratings. If you're new here, here's the rating scale that we use. Overall, this book was much more like a soldier and less seeker agent, which is just not my vibe. Like I thought maybe it was going to be a little more like that. That's fine. It's just not what I'm into. Also there was way too much bullying in the romance for my taste, way too much graphic injury. Like we kind of talked about how I felt like a lot of the injuries were just like, added to show that they're human. But I kind of like a little bit, maybe this is why I like fantasy, but maybe I like a little bit more of the unrealistic I don't know, maybe she's a
Well,
superhuman type of thing than necessarily the graphic
well,
injuries.
they were supposed to be like the best of the best
Yeah.
of the best. And like I just did not get that vibe.
Yeah. Same. Yep. So not it, hey, this it's probably if you like soldiers, if you like the like kind of
Yeah.
dark forces, like boots on the ground soldiers take, you might like this book. I, going into it kind of was hoping for more of like a secret agent type of vibe where they are kind of these like superhuman best of the best. And it's just not what it was. And that's not the book's fault, but that's not what it was. So for me, 2 stars. It was kind of spicy and there was definitely kinks involved. Pain kink, which again, not really my vibe, but if you're into that, but I think mm, it was more, I think plot on the scale. It was more plot than spice, but kind of, getting kind of close to the center there. So I gave it 3 spices.
Yeah.
It looks like KM Moronova has done a one or two. She has a couple of like fantasy books as well. So maybe something like that
Yeah.
would be more our speed. But if you did enjoy this book, she does have a second book that's a standalone in the same universe, and maybe a third. I maybe saw there's at least one more. So I don't have any other book recommendations
Yeah.
as far as books I've read, other than maybe just others in this series. But uh, maybe check out Spy Family.
So they're not exactly like soldier, but they are like, so it's more of like
Okay.
a series of motorcycle club books, but they were all previously like
Okay.
in some sort of like military thing, and so they'll kind of do stuff that's like that, and that's by Jamie Bedgley. And it's the what's their names? The Last Riders. It's that whole series, and then she's got other books.
Okay.
So
Well, there you go.
it's kind of, in that
Yeah.
vein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what did you think of Leave Me Behind? Let us know in the comments and let us know if you agreed with our rating and recommendations and if you have any others that you would recommend. Join us next week. We're starting our February book club read, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. And don't forget to catch our deep dive of the Broken Kingdom series only on Patreon. Stick around for the moonlighting portion of the episode where we talk about this week our most anticipated 2026 reads and some exciting bookish news you won't want to miss. Catch y'all next week.